algorithm aside, sometimes I want to create things that just don't fit into the main channel, so I put them over there. And the video that I did was really kind of just like breaking down that that fractal case that I had and trying to see if I could like turn it into a nice Proxmox and TrueNAS server for like a living room type situation. Quiet, low power, low heat, and looks good. So that's what I was working on. It was super fun. I kind of, I got to, I don't know, explore a little bit further than I did, a couple of weeks ago when I worked with Plex to turn it into a Plex server. So I was like, I'm going to take this one step further and go to Proxmox and get a NAS and then get Plex running on it and all that and all the other goodies that you want. Dude, thank you so much. Dude, Vidit, thanks for the bits. Let's give this a try. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, man. Monkey Boy, dude, thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Jenna Ryan, dude. Or Monkey Boy, new Prime sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Jenna Ryan, dude. 47 months. Dude, thank you so much. Tier 1. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Dude, gifted subs. Vidit, dude, thank you. 5 gifted subs. Wow, man. Appreciate it. Wow. Yeah, it's the hype is the real. The hype is real. I see stuff exploding everywhere. Dude, Vidit, I need to pronounce it correctly, but I apologize if I'm slaughtering it. But dude, thank you so much for gifting subs. So TD 5150, Aries own, Triple X Jeff, Blondgel, and Brain PL. Enjoy your gifted sub from Vidit. Dude, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Man, lights are flashing, lights are not flashing. They're going on and off. Disgruntled driver, dude, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Man, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Wow, there's a lot going on. So I appreciate it. But yeah, I've been working on that. Another thing that I have coming up is pretty cool. I mean, it's not really a surprise, so I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, I am, because I might not be able to stream next week. I got something really cool coming up. I have an opportunity to travel out to Cerro, Gordo, the deserted mines that I think a YouTuber bought out, the ghost mines. Anyways, the Cerro Gordo mines, if you know Chris from Crosstalk Solutions, he's actually going to wire up a network there. He did a video on it a little while ago. And he had an extra seat, and I was like, dude, I would love to go. I would be nothing more than like a grunt doing, stuff that you kind of didn't want to do, but I would love to go and learn on how to really do some, pretty, I think, high-tech networking. So point-to-point stuff over the air, a lot of cool stuff. So anyways, I'm going to go out to there. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to be in Cerro Gordo. Yeah, working with Chris from Crosstalk and helping to network that whole place up. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I feel like it's like a vacation. Yeah, the ghost mines. That's right. The ghost mines. Yeah, there's a YouTube channel. A guy bought the Cerro Gordo ghost mines. He just bought them all. And he's trying to make it kind of like a destination. And so, so I think Ubiquiti sponsored that whole install for Chris and Crosstalk. And then I have nothing to do with that, but he had an extra seat in his truck. And I was like, dude, I will fly out to Reno, and will you pick me up? And then I will go with you. And he's like, yeah. So it's going to be pretty cool. So we'll see. And I'm going to be there for like 5-6 days. So, well, yeah, travel and stuff like that. Anyways, super excited. So I won't be on the stream. Well, TBD, I won't be in this room for the stream next week. I got to see how this is going to work out, maybe from a hotel room. So it'll be pretty fun. I'm super excited. I don't even know what to expect. Anyways, so that aside, real quick too, let's get into your comments, because there's a ton of stuff, and I always hate to cut off comments at the end, and you guys want to talk about stuff, and I either get way behind or I have to cut some stuff off. Real quick, because people always ask what I'm drinking. Typically, I grab bubbly water. This time, not. I grabbed some water and put in a little bit of mix. And this time I went with, I usually go Gatorade Zero. Then I'll go with like store brand versions of Gatorade Zero. But this time I went with some energy because I needed a little more energy. But this is just, all this is like, it's Market Pantry. So it's Target, but it's a blue raspberry energy drink mix, and zero sugar, has some vitamin B and stuff, and has a little bit of caffeine, has a lot of vitamins, and then you just mix it up. And I've tried a lot of these, and this one has the most flavor. This one has the most flavor. Like I can fill up my Nalgene and I'm like, whoa, that still has a lot of flavor. So anyways, that's what I'm drinking. No bubbly, just water mixed stuff. I'm going to go grab a drink now because I won't be able to here in a little bit. So anyways, that aside, let's hop into comments. Let's see what you guys are working on. If you have something you want to share, throw it in there. We'll talk about it. Let's go. Undercurve TV. Hello. Lots of hellos. Afternoons. Hello. I'm blurry again. Yeah, you know what's going on. So when I'm starting, I usually blur it out. I don't know. It was just something I saw someone else do it. I thought it was cool because it was it's like, hey, you know I'm here, but I'm not ready yet. So it's kind of like, hydrate, drinking, yeah, for sure. I'm actually, here we go. Never fear, Boris is here. I'm actually about to deploy GitLab server on my Proxmox. That is awesome. That's a great way to go. I know that there are plenty of options out there when it comes to open source. A lot of people choose Git and then team up with Drone or something else. But at the end of the day, I think GitLab, just having GitLab and having, kind of all in one from source code to project management to DevOps and, CI/CD, all in one is awesome. I'm a huge fan of GitLab in general. So yeah, let me know how it goes. That is awesome. So when you say install it on your Proxmox, are you going full VM? You going VM or are you going, I wonder, VM or container? Container makes it super easy. I know that for sure. Last week, migrated from an 620 to a 730. Wow, you upgraded. You upgraded then. I see. Yeah, a lot of people go down, but you went up. So I think the 620 is 1U. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the 730 XD is, of course, 2U, because I know that, because I had a 720 for a long time. So the 730 just has a little bit more. And I think power also for PCI Express, I think. I don't know. That was one thing I always struggled with my 720. But, dude, awesome. That is awesome. Upgrading. I like it. Oop, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Good to see you. Fear, Boris. Again, ttek Proxmox Helper Scripts are so handy. I agree. Like, if you're doing LXC, there's no other way to do it. I'm going to be honest. I mean, sure, you could do it yourself. Sure, you could copy and paste all those commands. But the ttek Proxmox Helper Scripts, I'm a huge fan of those because they just work, right? Sensible defaults. You can override the defaults, and it's just going to work. And so I'm a huge fan of those. I keep going back and forth, like, should I switch some stuff over to LXC? And I'm only thinking about this because, like, sometimes some things in Kubernetes just don't always work out the way I want them to, or the way I think they should work in my head. But I just, like, doing, infrastructure as code, it's kind of hard for me to, like, oh man, do I do this? Because this kind of, breaks that paradigm. But no, awesome. That is awesome. I love those scripts. I love doing them. It's so incredible how quickly you can get things spun up. I mean, it's, it's like a copying and pasting a Docker Compose file, but even faster because, like, everything's just going to work and it's going to walk you through a wizard. So yeah, I'm a huge fan too. Moby Deck, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Happy Saturday for sure. Edster, hey, how's it going, Edster? I'm not working on my home lab. Instead, I am road tripping around the U.S. for 6 weeks. Wow, started in D.C., now in Texas, going to go up to Canada. Traveled from Australia. Wow, Edster. Wow, yeah, that is quite the trip. That is awesome. So you took 6 weeks off, came from Australia, flew into D.C., went down south to Texas. Then you're going all the way up to Canada, eh? Oh, man, that is awesome. Now, talk about the trip. That is seriously, like, the trip of a lifetime, for sure. Oh, man, that is awesome. Well, there's so much to see. I know people in the United States maybe do or don't realize this, but, man, we have so much to see here in the U.S., other countries, depending on the country you're from, there might not, of course there's stuff to see, but it is pretty big over here and pretty diverse when you get, from north to south. And I'm not talking about people, that too, of course, but I'm talking about climates, landscapes. It is pretty awesome. And then going east to west as well, right? So yeah, it is It is pretty awesome. I would love to be able to do that. I think you're doing a lot. You're doing something that even like a lot of people in the U.S. wish they could do too. So that is pretty awesome. That sounds fun. Sounds fun. Oh, doing it with a friend who lives in the DC area. That sounds fun. Road tripping it. I love road tripping it. I just like driving and seeing stuff, new stuff for sure. Undercurve TV. Hey, how's it going? I'm building a computer for the first time. I haven't gotten all the parts yet, but everything comes tomorrow. That is awesome. Undercurve TV, that is awesome. So you're building a computer for the first time. That is sweet. Sometimes I like take that for granted because I built so many, in my life, and man, that is pretty exciting. That is pretty exciting. The one downer is like when you don't get all the parts at the same time. Like you're in right now, and you're like, oh, I gotta wait until tomorrow. I got some of them now and some of them tomorrow, but that is awesome. That sounds fun. I just went through a PC build recently, and it's the first one I've built in a really long time. I'd say about 6 or 7 years, like a full blown, like me picking the parts and building a PC ever since my Windows workstation that's over there. So it's fun. It's fun. And I hope you get all the parts, and I hope you figure it out. So what operating system? What OS are you putting on it? For sure. Question. Moving TrueNAS from Virtualized. Cyberknight, how's it going? Moving TrueNAS from Virtualized to bare metal. Awesome. Is it as simple as backing up the config, installing TrueNAS on bare metal, and importing the backup using the same backup so the disk stays the same? Getting some high IO weight to see if that helps. Going to go 10 gig. Yes. I will say yes, it is. It's 100% that easy. I've done it multiple times. For a while, I was on the same install. So I went from FreeNAS to TrueNAS to TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Scale, all on the same install, all while flip-flopping those back from bare metal to virtualized. So yeah, it is that simple. Back up your config, put it somewhere safe. If you're encrypting the drive, back up those keys, right? And then obviously the ZFS metadata lives on ZFS, so you don't need to do anything there. Make sure they're okay. Drives are, okay in a good state. If you want, scrub for good measure. And then shut it down. And then build your new system. Go bare metal, right? Put in the new drives. I'd put them in the same order. Install TrueNAS. Import your config. And then if it will see your array. And should auto import it after your config. If not, well, this is what you want to do. It should auto import it. If not, it should be as simple as seeing your array and doing it. And then if you have an encryption key, do that, and boom, you're done. You're back in business. So, and then hopefully you haven't done anything custom to TrueNAS. This is why, it should be treated like an appliance. Because like if you've done anything custom now, you got to do that again. And I doubt you have, but I'm just calling that out, why you should treat things like appliances and just not mess, because like then you got to do all that custom stuff again. So awesome, Cyberknight. Yeah, I hope you figure out the long IO wait. I hope you figure it out for sure. For sure. I am Oop, weekend project update, relax, game, family time. Awesome. Very hectic week at work overall, but I was able to create and organize homelab projects on my self-hosted GitLab using Terraform this week, thanks to Christian Lempo's video. That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. I haven't seen it yet. I saw it in my watch list and I added to watch later. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, huge fan of GitLab and Terraform too, for sure. Genosai. I built a bot for my very small gaming community on Twitch. It's been fun programming it and getting involved with my gaming community. Awesome. I also added Olama LLM so it has lore in each streamer channel, which can chat and interact. That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. That is awesome. So you have a self-hosted, so you're using Olama. Let's break this one apart. So you have a bot for your gaming community on Twitch. That is awesome. And you've been programming it yourself. That is cool. So you have a bot that's connected in Twitch. And then you have Olama running. So you have, the open source API or engine for your LLMs running. And then you have lore in each streamer channel, which can chat and interact. That is cool. That's awesome. I don't know which model you're using, but I recently checked out Llama, I think 3, Llama 3.1, the small, something like that. I am so impressed at how small that is and how good it is for being that small. I mean, I think it's like 2 gigs. Like it could fit on anyone's video card. I think it is the small version. And it's really good for being that small. But yeah, I'm interested in what model you're using for sure. Gemma 2. All right, I'm using the Gemma 2. It's pretty small and easy to run. Awesome. Gemma 2. Yeah, another good one. That's Google's. Yeah, I've tried Gemma 2. And then, I tried a lot of them. I typically stuck with the Llama ones. But then, I have tried Gemma 2, StarCoder, a couple for, very specific tasks. Yeah, the Llama, there it is. Yeah, that's exactly. The Llama 3.2 is 2 gigs, and it's incredible on how accurate it is. And I was like, whoa, and how fast it is too. And I only realized later that it's only 2 gigs. Like I saw a new one, I was like, okay, download it, and I think it was a 7B, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, 7 billion. I don't know how many gigs that is. And I was expecting like the bigger model, and then when it loaded, I was like, hold on a second, that it took like a half a second to load, and I was like, whoa, this is really fast and pretty good. So, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. Congrats on doing that. That sounds fun for sure. Michael, hello from Germany. Hey, hello from the US. Wie geht's heute? How are you doing today? Hopefully good. Let's see. Audio's good. Good. Thank you. Yeah, I was super stressed out about kind of getting this going, and I was so I'm running a new audio setup, a new mixer, I guess to call it. Everything else is the same, but a new mixer, and I think it's working out okay. Like last night I went through and configured everything, and I did like kind of the bare minimum because I didn't want to go too crazy. So bare minimum, and then I got these headphones working and not my other one. Well, other ones worked. They just sounded like garbage after hearing these. So I got to figure something else out. The other ones are good for like Zoom calls, maybe some music now. And now I'm second guessing them. So anyways, thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it. I'm Utpa. Stupid question. Can I use Traefik with local domain generated through DNS, or does it have to be an external DNS name? You can, but you're gonna need a cert authority if it's like your own made up domain, right? If it's your own made up domain, I mean, you're gonna have to basically host your own CA if you want, right? And then on all the machines that communicate with it, you're gonna have to trust it, right? You're gonna have to go through and trust all those certificates. So that's why, like way back, I took the shortcut and I'm like, I'll buy a $5 domain, whatever. Buy the cheapest domain ever. $5, whatever, and buy it for a year and then generate your own certificates. And then you could just do a subdomain hanging off of it. Then it's publicly trusted, and then you just don't even have to worry about installing the cert on all your machines and making them trusted because it's signed publicly and everyone, it's trusted, signed by trusted CA. So you can, but you're going to have to go down the CA route if you want, right? And a lot of DNS magic. I am a Pepsi guy. Hey, I think I'm a Pepsi guy too. I think I am. Real quick. So have you tried TrueNAS Electric Eel yet? I have not. Funny you asked that. I was like doing some research in preparation for it today. And so I haven't tried it. I think what they're doing is exactly what they should be doing, right? Listening to their customers, making changes, and not only that, giving their customers that are using the previous version a migration path, and on top of that, doing that for them. Like they're doing everything right. This is like everything that you would want a company to do when they make changes, right? Admit the wrong, go with the right thing, release it, and provide an upgrade path. And then on top of that, do it for you. So, I mean, they're going above and beyond like what most companies will do when things go wrong. Unless you're on a SaaS, right? Unless you're on a SaaS, like then it's, it's that all day, every day. But what I'm really curious about, so I haven't tried it. Long story short, I haven't tried it. I was researching this morning to make sure. I wanted to see if they will be able to support Mac VLAN, because that's kind of important for me, kind of important for me for TrueNAS, for the host system to have, a NIC, a trunk NIC that I can assign like Mac VLAN to or something like that, because I run containers on different VLANs myself, and so I want to be able to filter some of that traffic based on a VLAN, and Mac VLAN helps you do that because it will spin up a virtual NIC and you can use that. So, anyways, I'm hoping that works, and that's what I was researching today. And someone asked almost the same exact question in the forums, and I don't think it got any responses, which probably means no. So I'm kind of hoping they add a way, that I can actually use Mac VLAN then on that host, because yeah, it would be awesome. Anyways, no, I haven't tried it. I'm super excited to do it. I usually do those things on day one, and so like as soon as it's released GA, I'll go. I only have one container running though, anyways, and it's min.io. So I mean, worst case scenario, I gotta fix my my S3 buckets. So. Anyways, I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. I should try it because I've seen Tom's video. So Tom Lawrence has a video on the beta testing it out, and so I should try it out just so I understand like how it's gonna work. But at the same time, I kind of like just doing it. I'm not like betas for me are fun to watch other people do. But I usually wait. I used to be the other way around. I used to be on every beta, every alpha, anything, any update. I would sign up fast ring, ultra fast ring on Windows. Just give it to me. Now I'm kind of like, want things to work. I'll definitely do it day zero. Like as soon as you release it, I'm going to do it. Like everything. But betas are good for me to watch from afar. So anyways, I'm super excited. I can't wait, honestly, because then I'm going to migrate what I think I'm going to do, and why I'm so excited, not just because the tech is there. What I'm going to attempt to do yet again is migrate my single Docker host all back to TrueNAS. Because now I'll have everything, I can have everything on one host, which makes things pretty easy. Right now I have things, one virtualized inside of Proxmox on another machine, and then I have my NAS, and I kind of want to combine the two so that I only have one machine on, and then I can dedicate that to something else. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to it for those reasons. Saturday here in Sweden. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Sounds great. Thank you. First time here. I'm already. So here we go. Saint Phoenix. First time here. I'm already grateful for your tutorials on YouTube. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm grateful you're here, and thanks for telling me thanks. I appreciate it. There's going to be more. There will be more for sure. Palace. Well, we talked about this. This was on the sub message. I need to figure out how to pull these up easily when they're called out. But you talked about this. You figured out your problem. You're now on Home Assistant Yellow, the hardware device from Casa. I forgot the company name. Who's the parent company of Home Assistant? I forget. Something Casanuba. There we go. Casanuba. Anyways, you bought the device from them, which is awesome. I've been considering it too. I love putting things in containers, but sometimes it's just awesome having a dedicated appliance, physical appliance. That's what you're making. That is a physical appliance for your Home Assistant, and then you could power that separately. You could keep that separate. It's not mixed in with all your other infrastructure where, things can go down. So yeah, I'm still looking at it. Alfie, how's it going, dude? You can one-up him by doing a 1,000-meter install in your house. Might still count if I just stuff it all in one corner. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? And wouldn't that be great? Like, hey, I did a 1,000-foot run or meter, whatever. That would be 333 meters and a third. But I did 333 feet. And just coil it all in one room and just plug in two things and be like, yep, beat to con. No, yeah. Oh, that would be great. That would be great. Just have a box of it and just plug two things. Yep, did my run. I'm Upa. I'm finally finished designing my portfolio site in Figma. Awesome. Now I'm soon about to start coding in React. Awesome. But I'll be using TypeScript. Yeah, so a bit nervous since I mostly worked with JSX before. You're speaking my language now. You're speaking my language, Upa. This is, I've done a ton of it. So, yeah, so React, I love it. It's awesome. TypeScript, don't be afraid. There are tons of types, and types get kind of scary. But I would say, like, there are plenty of examples, especially for React, for types, right? There's so many examples. So don't be afraid. I went through that transition too, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I'll admit, you know, I've assigned type any to some things in the beginning, and I know people say, oh, don't do that. You know, never assign any type to a thing. You know, because then you're kind of like, what's the point of TypeScript? But sometimes you just got to get things done, right? And so, you know, the engineer in me is like, I can't assign any type to this. But then, you know, the pragmatic in me is like, I got to get this thing out the door. So. Anyways, there's plenty of examples. You're going down the right path. Once you go to TypeScript, JavaScript gets a lot easier, better, I would say. Just because you finally got some, you know, some safety, some type safety, stuff like that. So, anyways, it's fun. It's fun because once you start doing it, you'll realize the types. Where it starts to get super weird is like when you start to bring in things like Redux and stuff like that. I doubt you're going to do Redux for your portfolio site, but when you start bringing in, you know, Redux or the Redux tools, stuff like that, that's where your types are like, I have no idea what this type is, right? Because you're just importing types from a library because you're using a library. So it's like, please work, you know, please work, please transpile, you know. Something you didn't have to worry about in plain old JavaScript. But yeah, keep it up, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. Hitman, first time here, Tim. Hey, how's it going? It's me, Hitman. Yeah, Hitman. Hitman 409-1209. Working on my home server and trying to get some stuff from a couple of old friends works for my server. Main focus is a good rack mount AI server. Hey, yeah, that we're talking about it. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's fun. We were just talking about Ollama a little bit earlier. I would test it out. Like now you can test out Ollama, you know, quote unquote, super easy if you like Docker, right? Or if you're into Docker, because that makes it super easy. Like if you use Ollama with Open Web UI, I mean, you basically have ChatGPT in your home. I mean, models aside, right? But a lot of that functionality. Then you pull down a model. We were just talking about the Ollama 3.2, which is tiny as in 2 gigabytes. And that will run on any NVIDIA card. Any NVIDIA card, you know, has, you know, 2 gigs of RAM that's been made in the last 5-10 years. So yeah, it's easier to get started than you think. And it's easier to get started than you think. And I mean, you could totally take my Docker Compose. I have a huge Docker Compose. You could just strip out everything you don't want to use that I have in there and have it spun up in, I don't know, an hour. I'm making this. I'm putting some pressure on. But yeah, it's super fun, super easy to do. And man, I hope you figure it out. Yeah. I mean, you could test it. It doesn't even have to be rack mounted first to see if you like it. I mean, you could do it probably on the machine you're right now. The machine you're on right now might have an NVIDIA card with at least 2 gigabytes of RAM. So VRAM, yeah, it's super fun once you do it, and you know, it's great having it private too, right? You know, I use ChatGPT sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes check my work, or you know, when and I'm not gonna go on about AI for a long time, but like one of the big reasons I like ChatGPT or you know AI chat tools in general. It's because it can know answers that haven't been asked yet. You know, it can know answers that haven't been asked yet, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, a good example, the other day, I was searching through and Googling someone's documentation to figure out how to do something or if something worked, right? And And by it knowing all of the documentation, it doesn't even have to know what questions have ever been asked. And so I'm asking Google stuff and Google doesn't know, or it's like, Gemini's telling me some stuff that is not right. And no one, I'm getting like 0 results for this thing. It's pretty obscure, but ChatGPT knows this tool, knows the documentation, has read the code, and it can answer the question I'm asking, even though no one's asked it before. And so that's where I think it's super powerful, right? Super powerful to be able to ask questions, answer questions that haven't been asked before. Oh yeah, it's crappy for documentation. Yeah, I mean that's assuming hey, the LLM knows the code, the LLM knows the documentation. Maybe it's read some posts on it, on Stack Overflow, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. That's the cool thing is like, the more it starts to know, the better it can be. So, anyways, I do that a lot of times for like. I don't know. It's becoming my replacement for Stack Overflow stuff because it's just I just want the answer quick, right? I don't want to look through a whole bunch of stuff. So, anyways, I bring that up because doing it at home is awesome too because then you can do it at home. Yes, if you're using a smaller model like the one we were talking about, 3.2, it might not have all the answers or the greatest answers, but it's a great general purpose LLM for sure. So I think you're going to have a ton of fun. I didn't know anything really about LLMs and Ollama or any of this stuff before I released that tutorial on AI. Sure, I vaguely knew how it kind of worked and what they were. But after doing it myself, I'm like, this is pretty awesome. The nice thing about doing Ollama 2, and I'll get off AI after this, is if you use it with Open Web UI or any other UI, most likely, you can switch models too. Easily, just switch models. You're like, I don't like this old Llama with 3.2 or Llama 3.2. I'm just going to switch to whatever, Gemma 2, like we were talking earlier. Click of a button, flip flop. If you have it download, and now you got a new model. So, or something more focused, right? If it's more focused on code, like a few times in my self-hosted one, it's giving me some. I was building a script, a bash script. I'm terrible at bash scripting, but LLMs are pretty good at it. And so I was using a general purpose one, the 3.2, and I'm like, this isn't working. Like, I get it, but I got in this weird loop where it's like, try this, and it didn't work. And so I gave it the error back, and they're like, okay, try this, and that didn't work. And then I got in this loop where it kept just telling me the same thing over and over and over. And so I got to a point where I was like, okay, switching out the LLM for something that's more code focused. I don't know if it's StarCoder. I don't think it was. It might have been CodeGemma by Google. Anyways, switched it out, did it, bash script work, first time. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Anyways, it's fun. It's fun when you have it at home, mainly because you can experiment, right? So you don't want to experiment in the public cloud and ask it all kinds of stuff. And then you're like, all the things that you don't want on the internet. If you're just curiosity, just general curiosity about stuff. I think that should be private to you. So, and that helps you do it. So, anyways, I hope you have fun, Hitman. I hope you have fun because it's fun once you start doing it. And even if it's just a cool party trick, right? Even if it's just a novelty, it's fun. You get to do it. You get to do it in the privacy of your own home. You understand how it works, and then you don't have to use someone else's, right? And you can understand it. So it's super fun. It's super fun. Deep Sea Coder, hey, Twisted Grip, maybe. I can't, maybe it was. I can't remember. Yeah, CodeGem is one for sure. Gen AI this week, I did a lot of document this code. Yeah. Oh, great. All right, we're going to talk about it. There is some code models on Ollama Project Models Library. Awesome. Yeah. The other thing is like unit tests, right? Oh, man. Like, if you're a developer, you kind of hate writing unit tests. I'm one that kind of likes it. I kind of like it. It's kind of fun for me. It's kind of a game, right? Like, let me test a few scenarios in my code just to make sure it works. And then you run those in CI so that the next person who, changes that code, if they change things, it may or may not break depending on your use case. But writing code, writing unit tests with AI is like, I don't want to say cheating, but it's kind of it's an easy way to get some coverage on your stuff. Not saying they're going to be the best test, but for sure It's an easy way to get some test coverage on there. But yeah, it's pretty fun. It's fun just like playing and testing with all of these things without worrying, about OpenAI and what they're going to do with your data. So that's it. Monkey Boy, and I'm here wondering who you calling stupid. Not me. I'm not the name. I gotcha. Stupid Monkey. From Stupid Monkey earlier. Yeah, not you for sure. The name, quote unquote. ADHD Arts Entertainment Inc. Sup, Timmy? Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. It's funny. My dad still calls me Timmy. He still calls me it. I don't think I've ever heard another name come out of his mouth for me. Still calls me it. My grandma used to too when she was around. So Palace, let's see. I was like, I'm giving it power, but it's not getting any lights. So I went through the video and I was watching it again. He mentioned the CM4 should click. So I got it back out of the case and pushed and noticed that when I pushed it down on the side, it would turn on and push down the whole thing. And finally clicked and it was good to go. Yeah, it's, it has like a mini, I mean, if you haven't seen it before, the CM4s, it just has this little tiny, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like ribbon cable thing. I don't know what they're called, but it has this little component. It's in white and it just has a whole bunch of like teeth and you have to like clip it in to the other thing that's on the board. And yeah, then you have to push down on both sides. So what it reminds me of is like, like if you've ever taken apart a laptop and how it has that like weird ribbon thing. And then you have to like, whatever it is, the keyboard or video. And then you have to kind of push that thing down on the ribbon. This is not making any sense. Anyways, it's I feel like it's that precise and it's scary pushing it in because you don't want to break it either. So awesome. Glad you got it. Still working on my home YouTube studio. I got a 2 server to focus on. I got 2 servers to focus on. That is awesome. Yeah, man. Home YouTube server, our studio and servers, man, that is tough. Sounds like my choices that I have to make here all the time. But that is awesome. I hope you figure it out. Curious what those servers are gonna do. I would love to know. I'm sure it's a lot of self-hosting stuff. Hi Mootball, what programming language do you use in your day-to-day job or in general? Hey, we just talked about this a little bit. A majority of what I do is TypeScript. Now I'm kind of like, is YAML considered? Because if you compare like how much of a language I've written, I feel like YAML has been taking over a lot of stuff that I've been doing. But it just depends. Majority of the services that I work on right now, they're all TypeScript. So they're using Node.js, TypeScript based, and that's pretty much it. And I do TypeScript, plain old JavaScript at home. I would love to do other things, but that's kind of like the majority of what I do. And then obviously tons of DevOps stuff. I'm writing either Bash stuff for CI or tons of YAML for Kubernetes deployments. Tons of YAML for everything at home too. Yeah, Twisted Grim for sure. YAML, you've been a Kubernetes janitor lately, for sure. A lot of it's copying and pasting though, right? You're just like, okay, this deployment, copy and paste, change the name, here we go. So services too. It's all copy pasta. At some point, you're just changing the names of stuff. But yeah, and then Docker's YAML, because I use Compose, and so. Yeah, but when I do object-oriented programming, right, when I'm actually programming, it is TypeScript lately. That's about it. Company that I worked for a long time. That's what we built everything on, and we did it on purpose. So I mean, the front end was a little bit of JavaScript, and then it was actually a lot of JavaScript, but we went through the same transition you did that you're talking about is with TypeScript. So yeah, it's pretty fun. But, and then there's tons of database stuff. Like I was doing Redis migration stuff, Postgres, you name it. Postgres, how many databases do we use? All kinds, all of them. Yes. And then, a lot of caching, cache asides, you name it. CI, I can't, just think of like all of the open source stuff that like a startup would use. And that's pretty much my day for day job type stuff. So Yeah, it's fun though. It is fun for sure. Veed it. We will fix it one day. Time to give some extra support. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hitman, any advice on a good 2U case for Exos backup server? So I don't know what Exos backup server is, but it seems like you're going to need a lot of drives. Maybe. I mean, the 2U one is tough. I mean, outside of buying like, used enterprise stuff, it's tough. A 2U server. See, when I built 2U servers, I still have a case downstairs. I've just gone with like the Rosewheel ones, but that's because I'm not building anything that needs storage. So that one's tough. I'd have to ask other people, like, hey, what's a good case? Or I'd have to ask in Discord, what's a good case? Or I'd have to Google it. If you're optimizing for drives, 2U's tough. 2U's tough. But I don't know what you're all going to be doing on your backup server and how many drives you need. But if not, if I'm doing custom build, I'm usually getting like a Rosewheel one, to be honest, if I'm doing 100% custom build. Otherwise, I'm picking something up from used enterprise stuff, either from Supermicro or from Dell, right? And those are my two go-tos. And more so lately, Supermicro stuff, because it's I don't know, not more abundant, but there's just a lot more variety. You have a lot of options. So I wish I could answer this. I wish I had a solution for you. But again, like if you're optimizing for drives, that one's tough. Because like I think the most you can get, I don't know, I'm gonna ruin this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe. I don't know. But also Craft Computing's done a ton of crazy stuff with like 1U servers that have like 12 drives in them. So there's that too. For sure. He's done some awesome stuff. Sigor, how's it going? Ghost Mines. Yeah, thank you. All right, now I'm getting caught up. Do a Halloween stream or a video explaining the mines. Not gonna lie. Yeah, so this was going back to my trip coming up for the Cerro, I think it's Cerro Gordo. I should know how to pronounce this. Cerro Gordo Ghost Mines. I'm gonna be taking a trip out to. It's gonna be pretty awesome. And I'm going with Chris from Crosstalk Solution. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna be his grunt. I said, dude, I'll take all the grunt work. I don't care. I just wanna learn. I just want to do something fun. I want to learn, and just don't ask me to like get a board stretcher or anything like that. My brother, yeah. Long story short, my brother, older brother, he's worked construction for a long time. I used to help him during the summer, and a couple of times he'd trick me and tell me to go get tools that didn't exist. And my older brother's pretty hot-tempered, and I didn't want him to get upset with me. So a few times he would yell at me, Tim, go get me the board stretcher. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, now I have to go in his trailer. I don't know what this tool looks like. It's a board stretcher, probably has clamps on each side, and turns out there's no such thing as a board stretcher. So anyways, hopefully Chris doesn't throw me for some loops like that, for sure. Left-handed screwdriver. Yeah, I probably would have. I mean, we're talking I was in high school, right? And so my older brother, again, hot-tempered. Half the time when 99% of the time when he's talking, he's yelling. That's just his normal. And you don't want him to like escalate any higher than that. So like when he starts barking out orders, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure it out on my own, and I'm not gonna come back and bother you. Because if I come back and bother you, now I'm bothering you twice. So anyways, yeah, it's he got me on that one. I'm pulling the long con on this one. I'm gonna get him back one day on something on networking, and I'm gonna get him back one day, and I'm playing the long game on this one. That was about 20 years ago. So I got to make it good when I trick him into going to get something that he doesn't fully understand. Oh man, awesome. Let's see. I'm dying to do a ghost hunt video out there. I'm working on here. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm working on one here at my homestead at PA at Pennhurst. That is awesome. Yeah, a ghost video out there. That would be awesome. I hear it's haunted too. Chris is like, yeah, like as long as you don't mind like staying at this haunted place. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I've ever stayed at a haunted place. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what to expect. So I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. So Jimbo, I totally binge watched your video last night looking into getting into Kubernetes soon. How hard is it to learn? I know, Docker. Jimbo Slice, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna take time. And it helps if you practice, daily or have a place where you can do it, right? And so not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be hard. But I think as you start to learn some maybe core concepts, that's where it'll get a little bit easier. And so, yeah, I would recommend Tech with Nana has a video. It's like an hour long. I think it's a little over an hour, but it's like talking about Kubernetes and kind of diving into what those pieces are. I would watch that. But before I'd watch that, there's like a children's book on Kubernetes. I think it's written by the Kubernetes CNCF, Cloud Native Foundation. I would watch the video, the children's version of Kubernetes, because that will kind of expose you to what these kind of terms are. And then I would watch Nana's, because then you'll be able to relate the things that they said in that Kubernetes for Children book to what she's saying. But at the end of the day, if you just think about what Kubernetes is trying to do, it's really just it's one big state machine. It's declarative. You tell it to give it something to you or do something, and it's going to do it, right? And that's kind of what it boils down to. And it's using a lot of the concepts we know and use already, but just in a different way, or they have a different name. There are load balancers, there's storage, there's, you name it. There's, a lot of things that we know, but they're just named different. So you gotta get familiar with that. But yeah, that's what I would do. If I didn't know anything about Kubernetes, I would 100%. There's like the I don't know, Kubernetes book for children. There's even a video. Watch that, and then kind of just popcorn it with Tech with Nana on her hour-long video, and take pauses. So, real quick, there was dude. Piece of Geek, how's it going, man? Dude, thank you so much. 49 months, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Dude, appreciate it. How you doing? 49 months, tier 1. Dude, thanks for the continued support, man. 4 years, 1 month. Can you believe it? How long we've been together, man? Dude, appreciate it. Appreciate all you do in Discord too, man. Appreciate it. How's it going? Let's see. Hitman, any advice? We talked about that. I wish I had a great one. I wish I had a killer response for that, but I don't. But I think that would be a good question for Discord too, in the hardware section. Moby Dick. Quick question: what's the best way to get SSL certificates when using pfSense only for local access? I don't know. I mean, this just goes kind of back into like, yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier with Traefik. Like, you're either going to have to like use public ones or use self-signed ones. I don't know off the top of my head. But if you're going to use self-signed ones or you're going to use one from a CA that you create, you're going to have to trust them in a lot of places. So it's tough. And so my go-to always is buy a domain for $8 and it'll save you, it'll save you 100 hours of trying to create your own CA and doing DNS work. Hype Train. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Getting the itch to buy more networking hardware. Those Connect X4 cards still good. I don't have the Connect X4 cards. Do I? I don't think I do. I think I do. I think you're throwing it out to people, but yeah, I think you're throwing it out to people, but I don't have any, so I have no comment on there. Had it running for a quick while now on Proxmox. This is going back to GitLab, running CI/CD. Had it running in Docker, but migrated to a little better performance, and it's externalized and secure it a little bit better. No, I totally get it. Like, like if you're gonna make it open to the public, you probably want it in a VM. Or, bare metal maybe, but probably want it in a VM by its own, totally isolated. I totally get it. Even there though, I'd probably still run Docker though. I'd run a single. Just because I don't want to have to deal with upgrades and all of that stuff, and apt or whatever your package manager is, and and all the dependencies. Like, you could get into a situation where Postgres database or whatever it's running, has an update that's not compatible. And that's where I'm like, Docker. Like even if I had to host one thing and secure it, I would run it one thing on Docker Compose VM. And then, because then I don't have to worry about updates and upgrades. And, when I patch the server, am I also going to break GitLab? So anyways, that's just me. Vidit, I'm looking at becoming certified and a Proxmox partner. Awesome. First service offsite Proxmox backup and then VMs coming in late November. That is awesome. Getting certified. So they have, that is awesome. So they have certification stuff too. Well, I guess. Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. I'm loving seeing Proxmox getting a lot of attention. Just needs to keep going. TD515, yeah, Tim's great. Oh, thanks. Helps a lot of people. I try to make it to his streams as much as I can. Dude, appreciate it. Having side comments about me. I appreciate it. I really do. This is going back into the travel. Feel free to skip Ontario. Well, why? I mean, if you did, then you'd miss Toronto, wouldn't you? Yeah, I think you would. Maybe that's why you're saying to skip it. Oh man, that's funny. Yes, you can define it in the Docker file and then compose and Docker run command. I like it. Yes, for sure. All right, guys. That time went by so fast. Mafney, how's it going? Good to see you. Time went by so fast, but I'm going to look into ones that are either asking for my help or talking about things. Twistagram, how's it going? Howdy, busy driving today. North to Michigan to Texas. Wow. Helping Snowbird for the winter. I've been working on Authentic in Kubernetes. It's super nice. Wow. North Michigan to Texas. That is quite the trip. Wow. So North Michigan, I don't know if you mean like Upper Peninsula, like Upers, way up there, all the way down to Texas. Wow. That's gotta be, I don't know, 20 hours, 24. I couldn't imagine. Because depends on how far you go in Texas. If you're going to far south and it's like you could be in Texas, drive all day and you're still in Texas. But wow, drive safe. Nerd and proud. The first backup is always a full backup. Yep. So that's by nature taking some time, but every backup after that is only a Delta backup. So that should run way faster. So this is going back to backups. Yeah, for sure. Delta. So it's the change between the two. It's awesome when you have backup systems that do it. And then on top of that, if your backup system will then dedupe that data, even the Delta, back on the system later on when it runs some kind of job, that's how it should be. So yeah, awesome. For sure. Love it. I love it. All right, guys. I'm gonna look Commodore 256. Wow, I only had a 64. I'm thinking of moving from PC to console. A lot of things I like about PC either don't exist on PC or exist on console. I like the KB and M for FPS. That's about being added in some consoles, and I like the mods, but the newest game people think about moddable with the new quest lines in Last Mess and land masses in Fallout 4. And that came out about 9 years ago. So cheap laptop can run it. And in the late 2000s, I was under the impression I could buy PC games on Blu-ray that wouldn't need online activation. Wow, a lot going on here. So you're basically saying, hey, I might move from a PC to console. And hey, that a lot of people go both ways. A lot of people switch to console, or a lot of people switch from console right back to PC. I think we saw an explosion of people, hopping over to PCs. When Ninja became popular, when Fortnite came out, everyone's like, yeah, PC game. I'm done with console. I want to be the next Ninja. I'm going to play Fortnite. I'm going to stream. I'm going to have, I'm going to have a microphone. And so that really influenced a lot of people to hop over to PC gaming who probably didn't have a PC before, But now some people might be saying, hey, yeah, I'm just going to go back to console. Hey, that's totally fine. Yeah, it's tough. And then you talk about, game selection. That is also true, right? Like consoles get games. There are exclusives with either console, but overall, either console gets games sometimes before PC too, if at all. So, yeah, I don't blame you. I would say go where your friends are, right? Go where your friends are, do what they're doing. And that's not to say, oh, just follow them blindly. But I mean, if you're playing like a social game where you're going to play with people, you know, it just makes sense to use what they're using too. But I don't know. So that's awesome. Hey, PC Geek. Yeah, he playing Fortnite. All right. Yeah, I'm not digging anything on playing Fortnite and streaming. I'm saying like when people saw Ninja, everyone wanted to be the next Ninja, and so you I don't know, probably didn't want to be the next Ninja because you're still playing. I think the people who wanted to be the next Ninja aren't playing anymore, so or aren't at least streaming, or maybe they went back to console. So yeah, I'm not. That's no dig at people who stream or play Fortnite. I just mean like when Ninja came out. Oh my gosh, like people like lost their minds. Kids like lost their minds and like just I'm building a PC, you know, I'm building a gaming PC. I'm going to stream, and like that whole snowball effect was just from Ninja, which was incredible. But I think you know, I think after time people, you know, just, you know, like with most things, they just move on. So anyways, man, I think that's a lot of talking. Also, how do you buy a delisted PC games? You can do it for the console and buy the disc. So how do I buy delisted PC games? You can do that for a console, just buy the disc. There's good old games. So there's a lot of ways you can buy games still digitally, right? And so good old games, GOG, G-O-G, I think, GOG.com, is one of the places where you can buy older games, right? And the nice part about buying it from Good Old Games or some of these other distributors is that they don't have any DRM either, right? And they're just like, no, you wanna buy Tomb Raider 2? Download it, buy it, a couple bucks, here you go. No DRM, you know? It's probably in a zip file, you know, and just save it forever. So yeah, GOG is having a sale. Yeah, GOG, yeah. So GOG is just one of many, right? And so GOG, Good Old Games, is where I would go first. So like if you're looking for older games and they came on a CD or Blu-ray and you can't play them anymore, yeah, Good Old Games is where I go. Or if you want to still buy them on disc, you might be able to find them on eBay or something like that. But that's where I would go. If you're trying to find an old game that had like online gameplay, then you're kind of like you're in trouble, right? Unless someone's running like a server or a hacked server version of it somewhere, because a lot of companies aren't running those servers anymore. So, but yeah, it's that's where I go. There's two. There's Good Old Games, and there's one more. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah. But what if you wanted to acquire it after it was delisted? I don't know what you mean by delisted. Yeah, 17-year-old games, not like the past 10 years. No, 17-year-old games should be there. Yeah, Humble too. Humble has a lot of retro games, but Good Old Games is that they're focused, you know, on retro. I mean, they're focused on anything that's not around anymore. You know, I mean, we're talking going back to DOS games too, I bet. So that's where I go. Commodore 256. You say delisted games, but they might still be listed through a different distributor. You might have to download them digitally, but they're on your account and they don't have any DRM, so you could put them on your NAS. You could burn them to a CD if you wanted, or burn them to a Blu-ray if you wanted, and you could probably play them that way. So, but yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah, I totally would. In that case, you shouldn't look at less legitimate. In that case, you totally shouldn't look at less legitimate sources. Yeah, I know what you mean by delist. Well, maybe I don't know what you mean by delisted. Maybe they've been 100% taken off the market for whatever reason. So I don't know. I don't know. You gotta. Yeah. Focus your inner Alfie Truss sarcasm for that one. Anyways, I got nothing then. Hey all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in today. What games I like this. You guys, we should totally take this over to Discord, but I'm going to plug it here real quick. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you so much there was bits, there was subs, there was resubs, there was lots of follows. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hype Train, I got to see the train face with me on there. I totally forgot that was there. That was a good laugh. And I appreciate it. If you wanna continue this conversation, if you want to talk about games and where to play certain games and how to acquire games legally, You should join our Discord. We got a Discord full of, I think we're almost at 10,000. We're so close to 10,000 all the time. And then they do a bot clean house and we're like 100 under. So I don't know. We're close to 10,000. A lot of people in this chat right now are also in that Discord. So I appreciate you coming out to Twitch. You should join. Pretty low ping, low friction, lots of tech, lots of stuff. So, how do you find it? ! Discord right now, or just Google Techno Tim Discord. You'll find it. It's easy. It's indexed by Google. So, and then I don't know. I won't be back on Twitch next Saturday from this room. I might be back on Twitch somewhere else. Cerro, Gordo. Who knows? But if I can stream next Saturday, I will, and I'll let you know ahead of time. But I will be traveling for 2 days, Friday and Saturday. I just don't know how that's going to work on Saturday. So who knows? So I'll figure it out. Let you know ahead of time. Maybe I'll bump it back to where I get to Cerro Gordo, and I'll rig something up and just do it outside or something. Who knows? Anyways, have a great Saturday. Have a great rest of the weekend. If you need me, I'll be in Discord. I'll be, Discord. So anyways, thank you so much for everything. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. Have a good weekend and be good to each other. Take care, folks.